All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cali Veil channel. Thanks for tuning in. As we all know, we live in a very materialistic society, and as time goes on, it gets worse because of social media. It tends to look like everybody's looking good on social media when really they financed everything. They rented their Lamborghinis or their G-Wagons, whatever they're pushing, whatever they're wearing. A lot of times they went in debt getting it. And that even goes with cell phones too. It's like a lot of you get a new cell phone every year, which is stupid, but let's get in.
I honestly don't know what I was thinking back then, choosing to be with such a stingy man. Seriously, all my friends have already upgraded to the iPhone 16 Plus, and here I am still stuck with my iPhone 14, which I've been using for over a year. It's so embarrassing to...
Did she really just say over a year? iPhones last between 4 to 5 years, sometimes even longer. But over time, you have to keep the phone updated for it to stay relevant, or otherwise you can't use certain features and certain apps. So this girl is tripping. It's a good thing she did blur her face out. Jesus Christ.
even mention it.
She destroyed her home just to buy an iPhone 16. This woman, upset that her husband wouldn't buy her the new iPhone 16, ended up wrecking their home. She said, "All my friends and close ones have upgraded to the iPhone 16 Pro, and here I am still stuck with the 14. It's embarrassing to even mention it." Her husband refused to buy it because their child still needed surgery. In a fit of frustration, this woman, ignoring the cries of her terrified child, angrily lashed out and destroyed the house.
So you're telling me she was more concerned about a new cell phone over her child's surgery. She don't give a shit about her daughter or son. Doesn't matter. She didn't care about her child. She cared about getting the cell phone more than she did the surgery. How do you explain that? Yeah, you married a child with breasts pretty much.
The era of marrying into wealth to change your destiny is long gone. Today, a woman born in 1987 came to see me. She's undeniably beautiful, well-groomed, and in great shape, but the moment she opened her mouth, her lack of education and refinement became apparent. Her tone was condescending, though it wasn't clear what she had to feel superior about. It didn't take long for me to figure out her situation. She's from a rural background and didn't even finish her vocational school before stepping into society. Thanks to her looks, she attracted plenty of male attention over the years and got involved with various wealthy men. It didn't matter if they were tall, short, married, or single. As long as they had money, that was enough for her. However, these men only saw her as a fleeting amusement. None
Ooh.
were serious about her.
Uh-oh. Sound like a merry-go-round. She was a merry-go-round. She's been ran through, plowed through. Tons of fun, though. And, I mean, this is pretty much normal everywhere around the world. I mean, the goal for most women is to get the most suitable, financially well-off partner as possible. Typically older men. Because, see, that's why a lot of younger women, like in their 20s, they look for guys 40 plus and up. Because they're more financially stable and less than likely to lose their job over something stupid. Or, still trying to find themselves and find their way and all that. Yeah, that's crazy. And this is the everyday argument, so this will never get old. You'll find several videos like this.
And now, at her age, she remains unmarried. Wealthy men wouldn't commit to her, and she deemed men without money unworthy. One of the first things she asked me was particularly off-putting. She said, "Do you have any rich men here?" I replied, "We have plenty of high-quality gentlemen, but they have their own standards when it comes to choosing a partner. It's about compatibility on both sides." She then asked, "Would these rich men spend money on me?" At that moment, I couldn't help but think, is she serious? Her mindset was so outdated, clearly that of a gold digger.
And I'll pretty much put a gold digger under the sex worker tree. Or, because it's like if you're looking for the highest bidder, you're pretty much not looking for somebody to care about. You're just worried about what somebody could do for you. If you're looking for a paid lifestyle or a soft lifestyle as a woman, to me, I look at that woman as a prostitute. Yeah. So if you see in America, it's this American mindset of the 50-50 relationship. That's not a relationship either. It's never 50-50. Because if it really truly is 50-50, then you guys are pretty much roommates that are stuck together. You guys are legal roommates That ain't no real relationship, marriage. No. Because a lot of the times in most cultures, the man does most of the financial providings. And the woman usually takes care of most of the household. That's how it usually is. But now, these women here, these newfound women, they don't want to do anything. They just want to lay around on social media and look pretty and just get paid by wealthy men. It's really sad.
What she doesn't understand is that the idea of using marriage to change your life financially is a relic of the past. Today's successful men are not only discerning but also seek partners who bring more to the table than just appearance. Times have changed, and so should mindsets.
You're almost menopausal. Should I marry you just to take care of you in old age? This was a direct quote from a man to a 36-year-old woman. When she heard it, she completely broke down and started crying on the spot. Honestly, when I heard about it, I felt it was incredibly harsh and cruel, but at the same time I have to admit, it reflects how brutally pragmatic people can be when it comes to choosing a partner these days.
The first generation of leftover women in Guangdong has reportedly moved into nursing homes. It's said that their biggest regret is not having children. Now, they spend their days chatting with other elderly residents, but what's even more terrifying is witnessing others pass away every few days. Some of them admitted that in the little time they have left, they deeply long to adopt godsons or goddaughters to fill the emotional void in their hearts, no matter the cost, even if it means being deceived.
我明年就涨价了，今年要80万，明年要100万。
再等10
年吧，48岁的时候可以要180万。
A 38-year-old single woman in China became the subject of ridicule after demanding an 800,000 yuan bride price at a matchmaking event. Someone openly mocked her, saying, "If I were to marry you, the most I'd offer for a bride price is 10 yuan," after failing to find a match in real life.
What is that, like 50 cents in America? United States currency, US dollar, that's like not even a dollar, I don't think. 10 yuan, that's like 50 cents. Ooh, that's sad.
She turned to online matchmaking, only to face more brutal rejection. One man bluntly said, "You're like a blackout. No power, no appeal, asking for 800,000? Who would spend that much to marry you?" He added, a 38-year-old woman acting like she's still a catch. It's laughable. After facing repeated setbacks and harsh criticism, the woman finally admitted she regretted demanding such a high bride price.
I mean, I wish we'll stop calling people leftovers because, believe it or not, here's the thing. A lot of guys will still deal with these women recreationally. They just won't settle for them. We just have to separate out that fact too. So even if these women are attractive at almost 40 or 40 plus, these women could still get some action. They're just not going to get committed action, if you know what I mean.
我就是那个停水停电拉闸的要80万彩礼的女主。
I am the woman who once demanded an 800,000 yuan bride price, and now I deeply regret it. I've come to realize that I've delayed and sabotaged my own future. To everyone else out there, let my story be a lesson. Don't wait too long to settle down.
At 32, Xian fell victim to toxic live your best life advice. Under the influence of her close friend's persuasion, she left her husband, who earned a respectable monthly salary of 15,000 yuan, and embarked on a new life, hoping to find her own rich and powerful CEO romance. But reality hit hard. Just after her divorce, her ex-husband's family struck gold with a property demolition deal, receiving over 2 million yuan in compensation and 5 new apartments. Now, Xian is begging to
Baby, come back. I don't know what was going with me. I lost my way. And, you know, I see you doing real good now. And I think we should just get back together and just be in love and just ride out in paradise. No, baby girl, you ruined it. See, they always come back when the guy gets his G's up. And it always happens like that. The woman is sure that she wants to separate. And then the minute she finds out that he's doing better when he wasn't with her, or he's doing better once he's not with her no more, they want to come back. And it's like, once you leave, you shouldn't be accepted back. That's just reality.
reconcile, regretting her decision deeply. Xian and her ex-husband have fallen in love at first sight. Shortly after their marriage, they welcomed a son during her postpartum recovery. However, Xian became enamored with her best friend's glamorous life, showcased on social media. Her friend traveled the world with her wealthy husband, living a life of luxury. Comparison, as they say, is the thief of joy. Xian Xian began resenting her husband's modest salary and the ordinary life of a housewife. She confided in her friend, complaining that their monthly expenses of 15,000 yuan were barely enough. She yearned for a life of luxury, with fast cars and opulent mansions. Her friend, seizing the moment, advised her to divorce while she was still young. With your beauty, she said, it won't take long for a rich man to fall for you. Xian Xian took those words to heart. After months of deliberation, she ignored her husband's tearful pleas and filed for divorce, leaving their son with him and taking only a small sum for herself. She set out to chase her dream life. 6 months passed, and while Xian Xian was still struggling to meet a wealthy suitor, her ex-husband's life flourished without her.
Yeah, and see, you notice it takes a while for some rich CEO to marry one of these girls, because you got to remember, these highly elite men, they actually have options. And I'm pretty sure women pursue them and want to give away their soul to them right away just because they could provide the cars and the nice homes and the nice vacations. Because, see, the truth is, these women want to marry the best providers possible that they could get, even if they have to use their looks or they have to go out their way. But see, most men, they assume that women don't pursue men. They do. They pursue the men that they really want, which are the ones with the money.
He got promoted to a managerial role, earning even more, and spent his days treating their son to lavish meals. Then came the twist. Xian Xian's family received a hefty sum from a demolition deal, and she rushed back to her ex-husband to claim custody of their son, hoping to secure a share of the payout. She managed to receive 500,000 yuan, but just as she was planning to use the money to mingle with wealthy men in upscale venues, she discovered her ex-husband's family had also hit the jackpot. They received over 2 million yuan and 5 apartments in compensation. Desperate, Xian Xian turned to her best friend for advice on how to claim a larger share of her ex-husband's newfound fortune. To her shock, her friend kicked her out of the house. It turned out that her friend's husband had become her ex-husband's biggest business partner. Xian Xian's regrets came too late, and her choices left her with nothing but bitter lessons.
Yeah, see, being selfish sometimes backfires on you. These women will never learn. It's really sad. The aftermath is just usually comedy after that. It's like they think that they're doing themselves a favor by divorcing their husbands and splitting up the family. It just seems like she didn't give a shit about her husband or her son. She was only after her own well-being. Damn, that's crazy, man.
现在还有女的能干出这事儿来，为了能嫁给有钱人，真的是啥事儿都能做得出来，颠覆三观了。
Some women today will go to extreme lengths to marry a wealthy man, and their actions can truly defy comprehension. Take the case of a 35...
Who would do that to a Rolls-Royce truck? Jeez. Well, oh man, can you imagine?
A 5-year-old woman from Panyu District, Guangzhou, a self-proclaimed leftover woman. She quit her job entirely to focus on one goal: finding a wealthy husband. Her strategy? Lurking around upscale areas in hopes of meeting a man driving a luxury car one day. Near University Town, she spotted a Rolls-Royce. Her eyes lit up instantly. After all, a Rolls-Royce is a symbol of true wealth. Even the most basic model costs over 6 million yuan. And just the hood ornament alone could be worth 300,000 to 400,000 yuan. This...
Whoa, I didn't even know that. Just the emblem alone. I think in some models it comes out and comes in when you turn the car on. It was either that or the Jaguar.
Was in her mind, her destiny calling. With newfound energy, she decided she had to seize this opportunity. After some digging, she discovered the car's owner was a man named Mr. Qin. Armed with this single piece of information, she set her plan into motion. Little did she know, her actions would lead to one of the most bizarre conclusions anyone could imagine. It seemed like she had watched one too many TV dramas, because she hatched a bold plan straight out of a soap opera. Convinced her life was about to turn into a romantic CO Falls for Ordinary Girls storyline. Not long after, a crowd gathered around Mr. Qin's luxury car. It had been vandalized, sprayed with red paint. Mr. Qin, understandably furious, was baffled. He hadn't wronged anyone or owed anyone money. Why would someone deface his prized Rolls-Royce? The answer soon surfaced. The culprit was none other than the 35-year-old woman. She believed vandalizing his car would catch Mr. Qin's attention and pave the way for her to enter his life. When confronted, she remained unfazed. Mr. Qin demanded compensation for the damage, which, according to a repair estimate from the dealership, would cost at least 700,000 yuan. Her response? She placed her hands on her hips, pouted, and said, I don't have money, not 700,000 yuan, not even 70 yuan. But if you want a person instead of money, I'm available. I can offer myself to you, Miss.
Whoa. But her box is not going to reverse the damage on the car. Yet, is it even worth it? A piece of box. A car is worth more than somebody's box. I'm gonna just be honest with you. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't desperate to hit that either. But
Mr. Chin was utterly dumbfounded. In his own words, I've lived decades and never encountered such a ridiculous woman. Unable to reason with her, Mr. Chin had no choice but to take the matter to court. This tale serves as a shocking reminder of how far some people might go in their pursuit of wealth, leaving others both stunned and exasperated.
Older single women, often referred to as leftover women,
are dangerous. If they doing shit like that, going to desperate measures, you're gonna vandalize somebody's car just to get their attention. And then when they want money for what you did to their prized possession, you're gonna give yourself up for free. So basically, you wouldn't have gave yourself up to Mr. Chin without doing that to get attention. Meaning you wouldn't have just saw him walking out the building. You wouldn't just give yourself up like that without...
typically have little to no savings. Many spend every penny they earn and pin their hopes on a generous dowry to improve their quality of life. Let me clarify. This isn't meant as criticism. Just an observation based on statistics and real-life examples. Take a look at this report from the Women's Federation. Only 1% of single women in China earn more than 10,000 yuan per month.
That's poverty. What the hell? 10,000 won per month? If you convert that into the US dollar, that's like 2,000 to 3,000 a month. That's barely enough to pay the rent, buy groceries, and yeah, they struggle. Damn.
While a staggering 72, 8% earn less than 3,000 yuan per month. It's even rumored that some banks have quietly categorized single women as high-risk clients. From my own experiences and observations, most single women I know live paycheck to paycheck, the more pragmatic ones, who are willing to work in factories or take stable jobs, often have more savings. In contrast, those who aim for high ambitions and pursue careers like men often end up heavily in debt. A majority of these women don't own a car or a house, nor do they have significant savings. Many have fallen victim to consumerism, living on credit cards and spending beyond their means. They buy the latest smartphones, travel frequently, and struggle under car loans or mortgages. Some even resort to taking on side gigs online just to make ends meet. Ironically, for many women, their first large sum of money often comes in the form of a dowry. But financial independence isn't something to boast about. True capability lies in being able to take care of your family, support your husband, and contribute meaningfully to the household, not just surviving on your own. Think about it. How many men go around bragging about being financially independent? How many men flaunt their divorce papers on social media? And how often do men criticize their wives for earning less or rush to find a new partner while still married? It's often...
And see, that's the thing. When I'm dealing with women, I don't obsess about their career, their job title, or how much they earn. I don't ask women how much they earn because I don't care. As long as I know that they could support themselves before we met or before we even got serious, I mean, why would it matter?
Often women who initiate divorces, women who feel dissatisfied with their husbands, and women who hope their husbands will file for divorce first. Single men are usually left over due to less than ideal conditions or limited options. Single women, on the other hand, aren't necessarily too exceptional to find a match. They are often indecisive, dismissive, and overly selective. Phrases like, "He's not good enough for me," come far too easily. As if some women mistake their hesitations for superiority, it's not about income either. Men rarely care about a woman's salary or education level in relationships. What truly matters is compatibility, mutual respect, and shared goals.
What kind of person are you? Your job title, your career, that doesn't tell me who you are as a person. And you offer me any value to my life. I'm looking at you. I'm separating you, your job, or whatever you do for a living to see how you would make my life better. By you entering my life, I'm expecting you to make me a better me for society in general, for us, for a family, her family, my family, and everything. A job is not gonna tell me that.
中国现在有1亿单身女性正在被资本捧上。
There are currently 100 million single women in China, and they're being increasingly influenced by consumer culture. Have you noticed how more and more women are complaining that they can't find a boyfriend? The biggest reason for this, I'll tell you, is the harmful advice they're getting from popular culture. All these pieces of advice make women believe they deserve much more than what's actually realistic. This type of advice tells us things like, if a man can't tolerate your unreasonable behavior, he doesn't truly care about you.
And see, that's the thing. You have women that act out irrationally on purpose to test the man to see if he's going to stick around and put up with her bullshit, her attitude, and everything else. Her toxic behavior. They'll act toxic. They'll be toxic towards you on purpose just to see if you're how you would respond to it. And the guys that they really want are not going to tolerate it. That's why the less fortunate men will deal with it, because they barely get any action in the first place, so they'll just deal with it. Versus somebody that's higher value, top tier, has all the money, they're gonna be like, I don't need you, I'm not putting up with your bullshit. And that's why they go to the younger women. But I mean, all women test men regardless of age. There's gonna be a shit test somewhere in between it.
If he doesn't buy you gifts or send you money on holidays, he doesn't love you. Where a man spends his money shows where his heart truly lies. If you believe this, you're falling into a trap designed to make you spend. These pieces of advice are all aimed at making you buy more stuff. Some of the advice is even more extreme. A man who doesn't spoil his partner is emotionally unavailable. If a man is shorter than 5 feet 7 inches, he's not worthy of your time. You should only date men who are tall, wealthy, and successful, with a house, a car, and savings. If your boyfriend doesn't buy you luxury items, he's not really in love with you.
Well, what if he doesn't buy luxury items at all? What if he doesn't buy luxury items for himself? So, I mean, most guys are minimalists, or at least they think they are. It all depends. I mean, as a single guy, he might go out and buy a brand new Mustang or, some kind of sports car, because some men are car guys. I'm a car guy myself, and I like performance in my vehicles. So, of course, I'm going to spend money on things that I like, but at the same time, my hobbies could get expensive too, whether you're into photography, traveling, and that all costs money. Yeah, most hobbies are expensive, especially if alcohol and gambling are involved. That's not what I'm into, but I'm just using that as an example. I mean, pretty much whatever you're into is probably going to cost a little bit of money. Art, I don't know. You're a tech head, you're a gamer, it all costs money. You're trying to upgrade your screens, Xbox, PlayStation, your TV in the living room, yada yada, you get it.
This type of thinking sets unrealistically high expectations for a partner. As more and more women internalize these ideas, their standards for a partner rise even higher. For example, a woman who is 5 feet 0 inches insists on finding a partner who is 6 foot 0 inch. A woman earning 3,000 yuan a month expects her boyfriend to earn 30,000 yuan a month, own a house, a car, and have savings.
And see, that's the thing. Most of the men that are available to these women, they don't have nowhere near that stuff. What I mean is, a lot of these guys are still living at home with family because whether they're in school or they got out of school and they have a job, wherever they're working at, it's not enough money to pay rent on a 1-bedroom apartment. And it's the same problem we have here in the United States. The average man doesn't make enough money on his own to support himself. And that's why a lot of people are living at home until they're like 35, 40 and up, because Everything is just so expensive, groceries and all that. So basically, what I'm saying is, out here on the West Side, you got to be making at least $35 to $40 an hour to support yourself. Yeah.
These kinds of expectations are impossible for most men to meet. As a result, many women reject perfectly good matches. This leaves many single women feeling increasingly frustrated. Even women who are already in relationships are affected. After hearing too much of this kind of advice, they start to feel dissatisfied with their otherwise wonderful boyfriends. The thought becomes, if this one doesn't work, the next one will be better, the next one will be more obedient and fulfilling. This mindset only makes things worse. You start comparing your real life to the perfect lives you see online. Flashy cars, designer accessories, and partners who are always spoiling their girlfriends. It creates the illusion that these people are living the perfect life, which can make you feel inadequate about your own situation. But what is all this harmful advice really? It's simply encouraging consumerism, telling women to buy and consume more, while convincing them that their value depends on these purchases. Beauty brands often tell you there's no such thing as an unattractive woman, only a woman who isn't trying hard enough. You need the right lipstick for every occasion to look your best.
Basically, they're saying all women are beautiful. No matter what they say or do or how they look. So you could look good and be ugly inside here. Or sometimes it's the complete opposite. Your face is ugly, but you're beautiful inside. Now, there could be a 50-50 gray area in there.
This convinces women to go on a shopping spree, thinking that beauty is tied to their purchases. Luxury goods stores tell you that a handbag is a symbol of status and taste. They make you feel like you need these things to prove your worth. They even offer payment plans to make it seem like you can afford things that you actually can't. The truth is, many women end up maxing out credit cards, taking on loans, and drowning in debt. These purchases don't just drain your wallet, they can wreck your entire future. So, I strongly advise all women to resist falling into this consumer trap. It will only make your standards for material things rise.
I mean, she looked like a cute little spinner. I'll take her, if that ain't AI. But yeah. Most women max out their credit cards. Their debt is in the negatives. Ouch. And see, half of the shit that they buy is ugly anyway. They'll pay $2,000, $3,000 for a handbag. And a lot of times, the woman herself looks better than the handbag that she paid $3,000 for. It's really crazy.
Making you lose sight of what really matters. Ask yourself, when you're older, with no money and no partner, who will take care of you? Who will support you when you're older? There's no perfect partner, and no one-size-fits-all solution to happiness. The truly wise person knows not to measure their life against the idealized version they see online. Life is hard enough for everyone, and simply surviving takes a great deal of energy. Achieving a better life requires real effort, hard work, and staying grounded. Marriage isn't about finding perfection. It's about two people learning to work together, making compromises, and being supportive of each other. Stop comparing your life to what others show online. Don't let harmful societal expectations dictate your choices. Your life should be in your hands, not shaped by the opinions of others.
Listen to your sister. Stop believing that you have to be like what you see online. See, that's where it all got messed up at. That's where everybody got lost in the matrix when they started trying to keep up with the Joneses, the latest trends on social media and everything. So they automatically feel like, oh, if they had that, I deserve that too. Nobody knows who I am, but I just know I deserve it just because I got this, and that. And a lot of times, a lot of these girls are just down bad with their family and everything else, but yet they're trying to find somebody that they could pass their toxicity onto instead of working on themselves, becoming a better person, and then going to find their perfect partner. Nah.
In recent years, China has witnessed a growing number of single women, many of whom are labeled as leftover women as they reach their late 20s and 30s without finding a partner. Among these women, some dream of marrying wealthy men, imagining that a lavish lifestyle will solve all their problems, but beneath their aspirations lies a deep sense of vanity and unrealistic expectations. Fueled by societal pressures and a skewed sense of value, they believe that they deserve nothing less than a life of luxury, often overlooking the simple truths of relationships and personal growth. The idea of marrying a wealthy man has been deeply ingrained in the minds of many women, particularly those who are growing older and still single. Society often praises the idea of securing a rich husband as the ultimate goal, with many believing that a marriage to a wealthy man will guarantee financial security, a glamorous lifestyle, and happiness. This perception is often perpetuated by social media.
And see, that's the thing. A lot of those women, not the women, a lot of those guys that are superior, top tier, and they have the money, they're signing the deals, making the big contracts and everything. A lot of them don't even want to get married. If they do, they just don't have time to find the perfect partner. That's why a lot of them are single anyway. And a lot of times when they do find their partner, they usually don't get married to regulars. Meaning they don't get married to average women. A lot of times they end up marrying somebody that's high on the totem pole too, meaning like they might be some kind of lawyer or a doctor or something, versus the man, he's a business person. So a lot of times they're not even looking for these type of women. I mean, they might use them on the weekend, but other than that, they're not trying to commit to them. See, that's the problem. These women don't realize that they're just recreation to a lot of these top tier guys. Because these guys already know what these women done to other guys, which were regular guys they didn't want. So they're like, okay, they look at me as the golden ticket. So I'm going to use this girl the same way this girl used the guys that she didn't want.
Reality shows, and even pop culture, where the rich man, poor woman fantasy is celebrated. However, this illusion often leads to disappointment. As these women approach their 30s or even 40s, they realize that finding a rich man isn't as easy as they once thought. They've set their standards too high, refusing to consider men who may not fit the ideal image of success, but who could still offer love, stability, and a meaningful partnership. They become trapped in a cycle of wanting more luxury, more expensive gifts, and more status. Yet, in doing so, they overlook the true value of a partner, focusing only on superficial traits like wealth, status, and material possessions. The truth is,
a lot of you guys are going to end up with women like this, looking crazy as hell, mental issues, drug issues, or should I say drug use, alcoholic, whatever. You don't know a person until you move in with them. And those of you that rush into marrying these type of chicks, this is what you're going to get. A lot of times you just end up getting a headache that's hard to get rid of. But see, the thing is, when the man has more to lose than the woman does. But yeah, a lot of you guys are going to end up with chicks just like this. And you're going to be embarrassed to tell anybody about it. Yeah, she sold you something else when you first met her, but right when you got on your knee, proposed that ring, moved her in, this was the result. A complete basket case.
many of these women have spent so much time chasing an ideal that they neglected the importance of building a relationship based on mutual respect, emotional connection, and shared values. They've been convinced that a high salary, an expensive car, or a grand house will make them happy, but, in reality, these things do little to fulfill the deeper needs of the heart. As time goes on, these women become increasingly disillusioned. Many face rejection, not because they are unworthy, but because their criteria for a partner are often unrealistic and shallow. They may pass up good men who don't meet their inflated expectations, and as they grow older, they find that their choices become increasingly limited. The men they once dreamed of don't see them as the glamorous, successful women they imagine themselves to be. Instead, they see them as entitled, materialistic, and unwilling to compromise. By the time they realize that they've spent their best years chasing after a dream that was never truly theirs, they are often too late. Some may find themselves in their 40s, nearing menopause.
And that's when it gets serious, you guys. But that's why it's like high school reunions and everything. You go to your high school reunion 20 years later, you know most of the people that fell off and just look crazy as hell. Push back hairlines, lost their hair, bowl cut, whatever. They just look completely different from when they used to look good back when you guys were actually there at that high school. So now, being that they're down bad, A lot of these women look at the guys that they looked over 20 years ago and like, wow, he's doing real good. He looks good. He has his own business. He has a good job, career, whatever. And they shoot their shot with that. So when these women are down bad and the guys that they looked over, they'll go for those guys. And a lot of times the guys aren't even going to want them. Like, well, who are you? Back then, you barely even said hi to me. I used to say hi to you in the hallway all the time. You used to pass me every day in the hallway and not say anything or look in my direction. But here you are now. I always liked you. But I just never said anything to you. Yeah, okay. Anyways, it's Kylie Vale. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video. This type of thing happens every day. And I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.